These officers, that it is me who either promoted them, etc. Did that? Yes, it is their time. They acted the way they want to feel. They are strong, they're powerful. That is not the way I use my power.
Right.
That is not the way I use my power.
Well, your military, I wonder if, given all that, I mean, you came back to Nigeria, you're a very well-respected elder statesman in this country. I wonder if you've had any desire since you left office to rule or govern Nigeria again, as we've seen the likes of Olusegun Obasanjo, Muhammadu Buhari, who were former military heads of states, do in this country. Did you ever have that desire?
I never had, except I was almost forced into it by Babangida's the A4 system. When
the option A4.
Yes, option A4, and when they selected Abiola for SDP, and I was selected for
the NRC.
NRC. Now, and there was pressure from me, from or from whichever source, and generally from the north, etc., that I should be the candidate. And honestly, I reluctantly, my wife, of course, didn't want it at all. Didn't want to hear about it, at all. I reluctantly went along. But the only stage that I reached was the first level, the ward level.
Right.
The ward level. It didn't go even to the local government, and before you go to the regional. And,
right.
Yes. But honestly, no. That is not. I was only interested in making sure that whatever contribution I can make in advising various leadership, and to make sure that we continue to make Nigeria
right.
A reality.
And a big part of that contribution that you made was, I think, epitomized in the slogan that was used during the war, which is to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. That kind of sums up what you were trying to do. Is Nigeria one today?
Well, is it? Are we still not Nigeria?
I mean, in the real sense of a united country, united in a vision.
Tell me which country is that absolutely united? Tell me, what it is that you do not have different, viewpoints, etc.
Yeah, but what would you advise? I mean, let's assume that what you're saying is correct. What would you advise is the best way to deepen Nigerian unity going forward?
Well, it is up to the people. As far as I'm concerned, whoever you are a Nigerian. I love you, I trust you until you prove to me, otherwise. So it is up to the Nigerians, to either accept the way I accept Nigeria, whichever way it is today. If it is one or if it is not one, but we are still Nigerians. To me, it is Nigeria that I hope I will be until I die. If after I've died and other people said that is not they don't want Nigeria at all, then of course it is up to them.
But it is important for the different parts to feel a sense of inclusion, because one of the things you tried to do in 1966 and 67 was to bring back everybody, and at the end of the war, you said there was no victor, no vanquished. In other words, that everybody had an equal stake in this country. So that sense of inclusion informed the way that you tried to run this country. And I wonder whether you think that that is an essential part, that inclusion, sense of inclusion is an essential part of trying to make people feel that they are part of a united Nigeria.
Well, that is why, honestly, my belief, and belief and trust in democracy is sincere, and that is what I have been trying to do. Well, as I've said, when I grew up, and when I came and Nigerian in a crisis came in, I said, I want to return. I hope the few loyal ones of us can return the government to the status quo. That is not to the military, but to back to democracy. And when the July thing happened, yes, terrible thing happened. I certainly do not accord that. But one try to see if one can save the situation. And of course, when the bad thing really happened, all that now remains is whatever it is that when we'll try to continue and then try to put it right. And that is what one tried to do. And this is the reason why all the government that come, I do not involve myself in governance, but I at least advise people views express left, right, and center. We try to go almost to the precipice, but somehow the goodness of Nigerians, they will come back and continue to try to find the best way of living.
Right.
And so this is the way I hope one day we'll be able to have the perfect system that satisfies everyone.
And General, we're almost at the end of this very interesting conversation. You've spoken about a lot of things, but let's speak finally about yourself. How would you like to be remembered?
Well, I want to be remembered as someone who loved his country, Nigeria, who loved Nigerians, and who pray if I cannot fight it, at least pray for Nigeria to continue to be a country that all of us would love. I know it is impossible for every country to be absolutely perfect. Today I heard that Nigeria's Trump says that Nigeria might be one of those countries that they are going to deny visa. So it meant I cannot go to America anymore. Well, it meant that I should try to make my country better than America so that I can stay in Nigeria.
On that note, I want to thank you very much indeed. General Yakubu Gowon, former head of state, thank you ever so much. And to you, our audience, have been speaking to the former Nigerian head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, who led this country during its most turbulent and arguably its most prosperous time. I'm Charles Anyegolu in Abuja. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.